Discord, a link to each of the runners' individual Twitches, and also a breakdown of the score and rules for this event. Oh. If everyone can hear me, can all the players give me a yes, hi, hello? I guess I will start with Mike, and Professor.
Red leader, over.
Sounds good to me.
All right, and Hapkiname and Hoppy, are you guys present and accounted for?
Yes,
Hi.
of course. I'm there.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to give us a countdown. This will be a 2-hour run. Timer will start on my go, and good luck to everybody, I suppose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck.
Good
Have
luck.
fun.
Have fun.
All right. And as the adventure starts, we'll be having Real Critical and Altair, our Mind a Couple Gaming representative, giving commentary today. If you guys would like to take off and explain what's going on to our viewers.
Of course.
All right,
Hello,
thank you.
everyone from me. Hello, Altair.
Hi, Critical. Nice to talk with you directly for once.
Yeah, it's yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, as usual, there will probably be a couple of technical problems. I can read in chat that there is no game audio for the viewers. I'm sure that's all going to be fixed in just a couple of moments, just as the stream title hopefully will be. But be not
Yeah.
mistaken, this is the Jelly Jam Race 2023 Lufia 2 Ancient Cave Tournament.
And how exciting of a tournament it is. A lot different from your normal speed run. The points based element of this, the teamwork element of this, it's a really, really fun time to play and a really fun time to watch.
Yeah,
And we got a
I
spell
mean,
off of Habkine already.
we'll definitely be seeing an interesting tournament, I'm sure. We determined in the voice chat before the tournament started that if you're playing well, then that's great entertainment. If you're not playing well, then that's good entertainment as well. So I mean, yeah. Basically, the only thing that can go wrong is me just babbling all the time and not finding my words. But I'm sure I can get it. I
Well,
can
I'll
get
try
it
to
together.
keep you on track. Blue chest for Hab, what's going to be in there? Hoppy's got an iris item. I don't think it's a point incentive for that this year. Dark mirror. Ooh.
So, speaking of point incentives this year in general, there is the link to the rules of the event posted by the bot like every couple of time intervals here, I'm assuming. And this year we got a bit of a more complicated thing in general, but just to fill in people who aren't familiar with the rules, just on the bare basics. There is orange goals, which are team goals. There is blue goals, which are individual goals, which can be gotten by each player. And then there's character goals all the way on the bottom that only the players who picked their respective character can get.
Yeah, we're seeing that those character incentives lead to a big difference in team composition choices from all of the runners compared to a standard any percent run. Normally, you would take Maxim, your main character for Lufia 2 proper, Decker, Guy, and Artie. But you see, we've got a couple people picking Salon. Um, Normally not a choice, but considering the character goals, it's pretty beneficial if you want to get points to maybe choose some characters that would normally be a bit more unorthodox. We've got Tia and Lexus for Mike. Kind of a neat combination there. Gives you access to different equipment, different spell loadouts, and just a completely different run decision base than you would normally see in an Ancient Cave run.
Yeah, and I mean, interestingly enough, the rules kind of make it so that each character's goals can only be gotten once as a team, which means that these players do not only need to focus on which characters they want to take, but also they need to distribute the characters across the two teams if they want to have the maximum potential for points. And that's actually what both teams here did do. So all 6 possible characters um, are present for both teams, so both teams can get the maximum total points of 70, and we'll see how well they do with that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're getting along pretty well so far. Definitely seen a couple of good chess pickups. Hobbs got the Dark Mirror. We've seen a couple of attack spells. Buff Swoley is swimming in miracles right now. And that's going to be a huge deciding factor too. What random items they can get. Because I don't know if everyone knows the cave. If you want to explain a bit of how the cave works, it's not just
Oh,
set.
sure. Right, so that's basically a very good thing to get also out at the beginning run, right? So we are looking at 98 randomly generated floors. The game is a roguelike style, so these floors will be unknown, but the enemies and weapons, or like generally items that appear on the floors, those will be known by players. As in, which enemies can drop. Whether they will drop is a different story. And yeah, basically the idea is that players need to balance how many chests they open, how many levels they will get versus the time they actually have to clear all the floors, as well as be able to get devote additional time to the goals that they might want to pick up for points.
Manok asking, what is a Jelly Jam? Jelly Jam is the name of the event. A fun title because the goal of the cave normally is to climb down those 98 floors and defeat the big boss at the end, which is a giant jelly. And that is a goal. It's a point incentive for the players, but it's not the main focus of the run for a lot of these guys. They're going to be looking to get individual points. We can see Swoley. An unfortunate mimic encounter for Swoley. Just hoping he can get out of that without a little too much trouble. 2 guys down, but I think he's got enough miracles to get back into it. But I say the thing about the cave being random is that you can have the run randomly end at any time. That's something these guys are gonna have to consider too. Is they've got 2 hours. There may be points, and we'll get to it a little bit later, where they may want to leave the cave or may take a loss and they need to recover from it, try and get some points without necessarily diving back as deep as they would have liked to. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting seeing how those decisions play out.
Yeah,
But
and
these
of
early
course-
floors... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So these early floors, until floor 7, it's kind of a free game. Once you hit those red mimics, though, everything starts going crazy.
Yeah, that's the first enemy that's more threatening than the others, for sure. Other enemies can be annoying, but in general, it can be said that players in general know how to move fast through this cave. There's a lot of movement tech out there, which is kind of a thing that sets this game apart, and I'm sure we get plenty of opportunity to talk about it later. But players will nevertheless take risks here or there, walk into enemies, which looks like a mistake, but will sometimes just be a way to save time for them, or them misgambling, but the gambling was an intentional choice.
Yeah.
So
So you're seeing
that's why I keep that in mind.
you're seeing some of that movement tech right now. The big blue boars, they're trying to, or the big blue oxes trying to maneuver around them because the cool thing about Lufia 2 is that enemies only move when you take an action, either taking a step or swinging your sword. So you have theoretically all the time in the world with which to plan out and manipulate enemy movement. And we're seeing some of that with those oxes, getting them to run towards you so you can trap them behind bushes. The mimics, trying to trap them behind bushes or other boxes, or even sticking them behind enemies. And it's a pretty necessary skill, not just for getting through quickly, but for overcoming the challenges the rooms might present to you in terms of their particular layouts and enemy encounter compositions. Notice everyone has different party preferences. Yep, that's because Manok, they are looking to get points based on character incentives. So accomplishing different goals with different characters will allow them to get points. The wider the party spread between players, the more points they have access to. And both players want to try and maximize those points as quickly and efficiently as possible. I don't know if it's the case this year. I know it was last year, but are they able to change their party members partway through if they hit party incentives and need to, say, Providence out or die and come back in?
That is a good question. I'm not sure whether it states anything like that in the rules, but I'm assuming since Eli wanted to know the characters before the run and points are more or less locked into the scorecard, that is not the case. Maybe... Oh, there you go, Eli clarifying in chat.
Oh, Swapping is not allowed. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep. That also means that getting those jelly kills for some of the teams are going to maybe be a little rough.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Swoley.
in-
Will he get this Mimic? Or this core?
Core. Mhm.
He does get one. Salon is not going to get it, though.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the characters are picked for points, but there is definitely, as has been asked before, a kind of preference for characters. So Decker and Artie are the two characters that clearly are the best characters for the Ancient Cave. Decker being the tankiest one with some of the best weapon options to kill the boss at the end of it, at the end of 100 floors, give or take. And Artie is by far the fastest one with the options to equip a Deadly Rod, which is an instant kill weapon. Hoppy has found one I've seen before. I don't know about anyone else. I haven't seen it for anyone else. And that is usually a very good weapon because that means you can kill like every non-undead enemy with a chance of 80%, which gives you a clear advantage on just clearing floors fast. There is a couple of interactions with the points, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing here Swoley trying his best to try and nag some of these cores. For those of you who are familiar with, say, Dragon Quest, these are like your metal slimes. They're your big EXP guys. They run away quickly. They don't take a lot of damage. You got to get lucky. But because of excellent SNES programming, they are totally weak to spells. I think the idea is that they are so resistant to spells, it overflows back to 0. But we saw Swoley actually do a little something interesting. Rather than use a spell, which I don't think he actually has an attack spell to use, he used an IP attack with Decker on that water ring to activate a spell. IP attacks are, think of them like limit breaks. You get points when you take hits from enemies based on the amount of damage you take versus the amount of HP you've got. And you can use those to fuel special attacks based on the items you've got equipped. Some IP attacks, are only useful in these situations, but they're going to generally form the core of killing the jelly at the end of the run. Which is why Decker is so important, because his IP attack chunks half of that jelly's HP. Very useful.
Yeah, in general, all the items that can be found or respectively gotten from enemy drops can be useful both for the cave in itself, or the jelly fight, or both, or the points. And of course, because this is a tournament, players will win based on points. So there are a bunch of points actually for killing the jelly, which is usually the goal of any speedrun, or most speedruns anyway. But those are only a small composition or a small number of points, whereas a lot of our points can be gotten in other ways. So the jelly kill isn't perfectly necessary to get in order to win at this tournament here. So
Nah. Now we do have a couple points on the board initially off of the decisions they've made in their party compositions, choosing different characters, having a different capsule monster, which is like a fun 5th party member that you don't normally have to worry about but can help you out in fun ways. Everyone seems to be getting some good core luck here.
Which is a good thing.
It's great. It definitely helps everyone's survivability throughout the run. Hopefully gets them all through the cave, because a good race, I find, is one where everyone is on pretty equal footing throughout, and the differences emerge from their technical skill rather than from, the cave deciding that they're just done for the day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the opposite of that is just terrible. If you don't find any red cores, which really gives you that initial XP boost, you're really just trying to catch up with experience, trying to kill enemies that are way above your level, and if you don't have the proper spells or whatever to take advantage of the elemental weaknesses, you're gonna have a real hard time to make good time going through the floors and be able to get the levels that you need. So red cores in particular, red cores and later green cores are really important for having a good run. So I mean, Hoppy isn't quite on those floors yet, I don't think, but everyone else I've seen getting red cores, which is a good thing.
He might not be, but
Panama demolishes 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, lucky. He might not be there quite yet, but he is at level 7, so he's not necessarily down. He probably picks up 1 core and then books it unless he wants to be really safe. That Perish is going to be helpful. With that, having a deadly on the Rod and the Perish spell. Nice little bit of extra security for getting through some of the tougher encounters you might run into. But you brought up elemental spells, and there is something a little interesting with the elemental spells this year, and that is the element incentive. So each player can only cast up to 2 of the 4 major elements if they want to get a couple of extra points. So they're going to have to be communicating with each other in order to try and fulfill that incentive, not lose those points.
Oh yeah, and importantly, it does not include IP spells, meaning the what was it?
Swoley's use of the water ring.
Yeah, that did not count towards the 2 elements. Only being spells being cast will be counted for that.
Which definitely gives them some good tactical options if they're able to get a couple of IPs for different weapons or different armors to be able to. Well, I guess armors don't cast attack spells, but if they pick up some rocks or rings, a few weapons. Although rocks and rings, something we've seen the water rings so far. We haven't, I don't think, seen any good rock pickups. There haven't been a lot of blue chests, but there is an incentive for that as well to get 8 rings and rocks in combination across all party members on both teams. And that's a bit of a tough one. They might have to go out of their way to fight some enemies for that.
Yeah, I would be surprised if that would happen in a lot of races here. As you said, they could have always appeared in blue chests, and they could also have been in the floor 1 to 9 chests. And those, because of a glitch in the game, only those chests can contain rocks or jewels or whatever, along with some other types of items. So not that they're all past those floors. They will have to rely on enemy drops and blue chests alone to fill up those rocks. So there's a couple of rocks they want to get anyway, probably, such as the Cancer Rock or the Hedora Rock, maybe the Gorgon Rock, but otherwise, it's quite unlikely for them to pick up 8 rocks across both players by chance, right?
Yeah.
And it has to be they have to be equipped to 8 characters, meaning each player needs to find 4 of them. It's not like one player can get 6, even though it says across both players.
Even worse, not everyone can equip everyone can equip rocks. Not everyone can equip every ring. So if one player gets a ring that can only be equipped to a character they don't have, that's just you're out of luck there. You're gonna have to hope for a 9th pickup. Deadly Sword off Hob. Wonder if it's gonna be the good or the bad one. He hasn't checked it.
And just because you brought it up, there is a couple of rocks. Oh yeah, the timer is paused for a little bit here, I think. Just to bring it up, if someone finds a title jewel in the blue chest, or gets the Song Rock as an item drop, those can only be equipped by the female characters, meaning Tia and Selwyn. So yeah, those are 2 really weird drop restrictions, I guess. The Gorgon Rock, the top kind I just found on the other hand.
Aha!
That would be one of them.
That is a very good one to have. Definitely fits any character slot, lets him flex a little bit.
Yep.
You got also the Twist Jewel incentive. If both players can either find or get a Twist Jewel from an enemy, they'll get a point for that as well. And that goes a pretty good way towards fulfilling that 8 equips incentive. So might not be a terrible idea for them to try and go out of their way for it if they think that they can survive those encounters.
Yeah, this is definitely a good item to pick up, especially because it doesn't only provide for points, but it's also a really good item because it boosts your agility. And agility is really the key attribute in this game mode, or in this game in general, because being faster than your opponents, especially in combination with instant kill effects, is really the best thing you can get.
Yep. And we're seeing these runners move so fast, in fact, that the timer, it doesn't seem to be responding to their speed. They're actually just moving faster than even the clock can perceive. So don't worry about it. These are professionals. They're just doing really really well right now, guys. We're looking for everyone to get a sub 30-minute run. Definitely. That's not a point incentive, but if you lose the race but get a 30-minute world record, I don't think you're going to be too upset about it.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, the timer is still at 0 minutes, so.
Yeah, you know. The
There's the deadly rod for Hapkanama, very nice.
Oh, lovely. I think he's got the sword and the rod now. He's gonna have to coordinate with Hoppy, who's also got that rod. Only one of them's gonna want to equip it if they want to keep that deadly incentive. Only one of each deadly item equipped across all 3 players.
Yep, and that is a devious goal. I was mentioning earlier. It is a good item to have, but the point incentives might kind of strike align their plans, because you do want to equip the deadly rod, but at the same time you also want to have the points. And if you keep in mind that the party compositions isn't optimal, they're gonna have to decide whether Hapkananame, who has Decker and Artie in his team and is therefore well better equipped to actually make it to Jelly, is gonna get the deadly rod, giving him a better chance to actually get there, or whether Hoppy equips it in order to improve its chances with a less so equipped party, or where they're gonna do some entirely different strats, right? Those are just
it's entirely possible.
exemplary thoughts.
Yeah, no, it's entirely possible that they find a good spell for Artie, and maybe he doesn't need to equip. He could equip a deadly pick instead of a deadly rod. Not worry about trying to find a curse lifter. To use the deadly rod's uncursed IP attack against the jelly later. Another deadly rod for Hob.
Yeah, it's just collecting at this point.
Yeah, it's
I
like
haven't
they're like
seen a
Decker blades.
single
Once you got
deadly.
one, once you got one, you get all of them.
It never rains, it pours.
Nope.
I have not seen any deadly option at all on the left side. That might, of course, be because I missed it.
I think one of them has Perish as a spell. I think there was a deadly sword pickup on Mike. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
It's a little tough, and it may not even be the good deadly sword. There are 2 deadly swords in the game. One you want, one doesn't help you at all.
I mean, neither of those deadly options is a good one, I would say, or instant kill options. The deadly sword is usually a kind of a what do you call it, desperation move.
Yeah.
Perish, I mean, I wouldn't want to rely on it because it only has a 25% chance to kill, but it is an option, I guess, if you're
If you're up against a bunch of blue mimics that are on top of a staircase and you gotta kill them, sometimes you just gotta gamble on that chance. Thunder and Zap at the same time
I
between
just saw
Mike, and Swoley.
I was gonna comment on that as well. So, yeah, light and thunder. Well, is light considered one of the elements? Let me check that up really
No,
quick.
it's the
4 major elements. So,
major.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so
water,
that's pretty
fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now those
those
are
are
excellent
spells.
pickups.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunder
Upkanam
for
also
Hob
can
as
spell
well.
Thunder if I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thunder and Zap are the 2 strongest spells you can find in the game, meaning if you're going for raw damage, for example, on the Jelly, you don't need to worry about elements now in Team Blue, because Mike can use Zap. Well, he can't use that because he doesn't have Artie in the party.
Yep. Oh no!
That's terrible, of course. But at least Prof is probably gonna be able to use Thunder.
The
and
cave
that's good.
giveth, the cave taketh away.
Yeah, there's yet another,
It's a cruel
problem
reality.
that they get from the decisions, as you've got in the chat as well. In general, if you guys got any annotations to the commentary or questions or whatever, feel free to post them in chat. We are both reading chat, and we're happy to answer your questions if you got any.
Yep.
Also,
And of course,
if you
if
wake
you-
up in the morning tomorrow and get any questions about Lufia 2 and you need them answered, feel free to check out the Discord.
Fantastic resources on that Discord. Really welcoming community. I believe the biggest Lufia 2 community, even just for the main game. So, if you love this game, even if you don't run the Ancient Cave and just want to chit chat about it, that's the place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, since Eli just mentioned it in chat, Eli is the person doing the scorekeeping as well as the streaming, the tech, the catering, and everything else in the background of this tournament. So, yeah, if everything's not perfectly updated in time, give the guy some rest because he's literally doing everything at once, and things will probably work out sooner rather than later. So, don't worry,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine.
Third deadly rod for Hob. It really does pour.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're seeing the scores here. 10-4. That may not necessarily be. Oh, teleported onto. That may not necessarily be an accurate score, but yeah, as Critical said, just bear with us, please.
Yeah, so being 21 minutes into a run, I think that's pretty accurate actually. Maybe that's a very good opportunity to start talking about the runners here really quick, just to give them a quick introduction.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how much you know about them, but otherwise I would just take it away.
I think I've seen some of these guys play before. I've seen Hob, I've seen Mike, but as far as knowing about them, that's all you, man. Take it away.
I gotcha. All right. So I'm gonna make this quick, so you can get back on the mic in a second as well. So basically,
fine.
Kanam and Happy the Fool, both are runners that have won Jelly Jam before in the past. Happy the Fool as a team with me, and Hapkaname as the kind of arch enemy team of us. So I got mixed feelings about the orange team here. Yeah, both long-time runners and enjoying the casual runs as much as the speed runs, I think. Maybe even more. So Mike is definitely a very experienced player, has gotten very short times in running any percent, which is the main category of this game, as it is for many. And should be the most experienced player in this round here, but I mean most experienced, maybe, I don't know. Fastest we'll see. Whereas Prof. Svoli is one of the newer players in the whole tournament who actually are participating, and I do see a dire battle for him as I talk about him. I
Yeah,
hope
he's gonna have to hope that he hits Darby there.
So what happened here is
Oh,
that
Transmaker!
Darby's Transmaker actually saved him from dire defeat.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah, that was definitely close, but yeah, I mean, I'm very glad to see him here. The tournaments are usually not very try hard, so it's great that he said he's gonna compete, and I'm very much looking forward to him because regardless of him being new or not, that is definitely, or he's definitely a very technical player, very knowledgeable about the game, and yeah, I'm not writing him off at all.
No, not at all. Although I am a little concerned. He should have the Valor spell, but chose not to bring Artie back into the fray to get Salon back into the game as well. So, bit of a gamble there. Hopefully he's able to get through this room. Gets a silver armor off that, though. That might help his survivability a bit. Oh, and it was a... oh, no.
He's all good.
Yeah,
The
it's
decision
just, it's
on not
always
using
rough.
a healing spell if he has one, that might be based on his MP restorative items that he still has. If he has no MP to cast it,
Well,
Valor
he had-
is an expensive spell at 30 MP.
He had thrown a miracle onto Decker to get him back up, is why I... You know, it might have been a
Yep.
bit of a forget that he has Valor.
Yeah.
But
that might have been.
hopefully he's able to make it through this to get back into it. Some of these chests might have the items he needs. Oh, is Mike the one with Valor? Like I said, I could be wrong. It's 4 runners to watch, and
Yeah,
you can
it's
easily
definitely
make a
hard.
mistake. If not, then then that was probably the correct decision. Decker is the tankiest of the party members. Definitely the guy you want to try and get away from fights.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I definitely take comfort in that 4 players are being hard to follow, but all we need to do is keep track of them and maybe comment if we do something wrong, it doesn't really matter. Whereas Eli is doing all the points keeping in the background. He's got to do the real work, right?
Yeah.
When he's making a mistake, people will be mad at him for a year, so.
We got the easy
No
job,
pressure,
and
Eli.
Hob got the easy curse lifter.
Yeah. So that's good. That's maybe none of those players equipped the Deadly Rod for now, and now they can make a decision on who's equipping the Deadly Rod now based on Hopkanami finding the Curse Lifter. Just to explain a bit of background for that. Well, okay, I'm gonna be talking about this for a while now, but basically to kill the jelly, one of those weapon types you want is a fractional, which takes a certain fraction of the remaining max HP. And the Deadly Rod, has an IP attack that actually allows the character to cast 3 of those fractionals for 1/8 of the total HP of the jelly in total, if it's on curse only though. So, yeah.
Yep, and that's why the Decker Blade is a very sought-after item. Its IP attack takes off about 50% to 62.5% of an enemy's HP, just annihilating the majority of the health bar of that final enemy, who has just shy of 10,000, 9,980, I believe, HP to burn through.
Exactly.
Not the easiest, definitely. You could easily get to the bottom of the cave and just not have the tools to deal that much damage, but that's why we have all these other point incentives.
So Eli informs us that Hopkanami casts Thunder and Firebird, which means that Hoppy can only use water and ice spells if they still wanna take that point.
Does Hoppy have a gold eye? I didn't see him pick that up, but he just used Stardust Blow. I know he had a black rock or black eye, something like that.
He does have a black eye, but that would cast Gloom Splash, I believe.
Yeah, I guess he
rather than
picked up.
Stardust Blow.
I guess he picked up one of the eyes.
That's nice. He picked up both then, because I definitely saw him get a black eye.
Yeah, I saw him get the black eye, so he's both the black and gold. That's pretty good. That might that's a pretty good progress towards that rock incentive. I would really like to see someone get that rock incentive.
Yeah, that'd definitely be nice. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be worth grinding enemies for like 10 minutes just for the rock drops, especially how annoying it is because you don't see whether an item drops that you already have in your inventory. You gotta have to check the menu every single time, so that's something to consider here.
Well, I can.
Yeah, maybe it happens by accident.
Yeah, Prof getting 4 cores, all in one
They-
shot.
Yeah, all of them.
My
Yep.
goodness. We see Mike fighting these cancers too. Maybe he'll, or the Garboss. He
The
might get a
Garboss,
cancer
yeah.
rock off that.
There is definitely a lot of incentive to fight him here, especially since he does not have Decker and therefore can use every single damage output for the jelly that he can get. I'm not sure. Let me just mention that when I talk about team composition, I'm not sure whether any of these players even plans to go to jelly, right? So Mike with his experience is probably the one better suited to take on the entire cave and make it to jelly, do the jelly fight, even with like less than optimal equipment. Oh, that's an interesting movement situation that he's got himself in there now. But maybe the plan isn't for Mike to go to jelly, but to just clear the cave and collect goals in general, whereas Prof Buff Svoli is maybe gonna make it to jelly, or maybe not, you know? We don't know anything about these teams' strategies. And of course, just to add one more sentence, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
those strategies might change throughout the tournament, right? Like you go into these tournaments, you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and that, but when in the first 10 minutes you decide completely otherwise.
Yeah, you decide you're not gonna go for a jelly kill, then you get a Decker Blade, Gady's Blade, and you're like, well, now suddenly the math has changed a bit.
Yep.
That being
Well,
said,
although, of
Sizzle Sword
course-
for Mike. Who uses that? Is that Salon that can use the Sizzle
It's
Sword?
Maxim and
It's
Salon, yeah.
Maxim. Okay,
So it's
Well,
only
that's
Maxim
great.
for Mike.
that's an excellent weapon pickup for Mike. That
Yep.
jelly kill looking closer and closer with every floor.
Yeah, and it's gonna
there's
help him kill those Garbos.
yeah.
As he just showed.
No pickup off them though, unfortunately. But you know, the jelly kill may not be a goal, but it is quite a number of points. Every jelly-related point incentive combined totals 8 of the 70 overall points they can get. Now, 2 of those are a lot easier than the rest. Just make it within the to floor 99 within the time limit. Defend during the jelly fight. You don't need to get the kill, but if you do get the kill and do the other 2, you get an extra point for getting all of the jelly incentives. So that's 4 points only attainable if you go and are able to attain a jelly kill. That being said, I don't know. You know, my runs are all any percent. I don't have a lot of experience with the 3 additional characters are quote-unquote reject run characters. How are they supposed to approach the jelly with those characters in their teams?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, you can get. So, for example, you mentioned Deco Blade and Gatey's Blade before, right? So each
Yes.
of those weapons, respectively, is the best fractional and finisher. But you can compensate for lack of those options because in a reject party you wouldn't have those. Okay, so reject party doesn't in general apply here because we have Guy and Guy can use the Gatey's Blade, but just let's say with a non-optimal party, in generally speaking, you can compensate for the best weapons with less than great options and or less than the best options, and those options are really plentiful in the Ancient Cave. You have multiple ways to compensate for missing equipment. So for example, if you don't find anything in chests, you can still kill enemies in the 60s or in the late 50s to the 60s that drop Hidora rocks, which will allow you to compensate for finishers. You can get Gorgons, which are in the 70s and 80s, to compensate for fractionals, and that will usually be what you want to use in combination with Maxim being able to use 2 of the strongest fractionals being Old Swords and Myth Blades. So yeah, the thing is, you do need to find those very specific items in order to still make a kill with one of the lesser equipped parties. So the chances are definitely slimmer, and the reject percent category is one of the hardest to finish in my mind because of that.
Well, they're certainly going to try their best to go for it if possible. Hoppy over here with a really brutally small room, a couple of not so great encounters to get through. Haven't been seeing too many especially difficult rooms. We've seen a few party rooms. These are big rooms where all the chests and enemies are coalesced into one small spot. We saw Mike, and Swoley have a couple of those themselves. I think Hob had one as well, where he got a couple of his blue chests. Sadly, Mythblade is almost always needed. Oh.
Prof Buff Swoley has just shown off one of the more important movement techs in dealing with ninja and assassins by luring him behind a bush and doing that little dance that gives you a 50-50 chance. So, yep.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice
gonna
to
be a
see that
hard
in
fight,
general. Yep.
He used that
Transmaker
sizzle
is
sword.
so- Yeah, he did. His
Oh.
party is getting terminally blown here, unfortunately.
They are
Oh, and that's
that.
wow. That is a total defeat. I'm gonna spoil it for
Oh.
you because you're probably only gonna see it in a couple of seconds. But damn, that is a couple of sessions doing what they ordinarily do not do very often, which is literally hit every single time. And I think that was 3 terminal blows.
It was
Maybe
just
even
the
4?
2. I think he already had 2 party members down going into the fight. Had not found
Oh, I see.
any revive items to work with.
Damn.
Unfortunate. So
That really is unfortunate in the most literal sense of the way, as in, I think Prof Buff Swoley did everything here that he could have. He went for the 50-50, didn't get it. He got terrible luck in the terminal blows, not just, not being regular attacks, but terminal blows, and then those terminal blows actually hitting. So, yeah.
unfortunate
sometimes
situation.
There's just nothing you can do.
Yep. Mike, though, trying to pick up some of the slack, picks up a fry sword for Guy. Really strong
That's very
weapon.
nice. Yeah, it's not just strong, it's one of the only weapons that provides agility, and as I mentioned before, that is a really important attribute to make it through the cave in the first place. So he's definitely going to be happy about that, because Guy is his slowest character, and therefore having the boost for that also affects his escape agility, for reasons I will not go into here because that would be pretty much technical. But
Yep, another water ring.
he's going to be happy about that.
Another water ring for Swoley. We might see that water ring tech a second time for Cores.
Make that a 3rd time.
Oh my gosh!
Yep. So.
I mean, it goes to that Rings Rocks incentive. It's not bad, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Normally would not
It is
necessarily
very
be a consideration, but... And he's going for the Eagles. If he goes for the kill
Staying
on here...
hydrated within the game.
Yeah. We don't have Hydrate Redeemed here, so that's going to be our cue. It'd be really nice if he picked up an Eagle Rock here, getting 3 equipables right off the bat.
Yeah.
Contributing to that team point. I don't know where Mike sits on that, but it'd be really nice. A bit of a way to soften the blow of a reset to pick up a point off of those early floors that he no longer had access to.
As I said earlier, in the first 9 floors, you can actually find rocks and other things, so that is yet another opportunity for him to pick up those things. Just because the question appeared in chat right now, watering, let me just mention again that watering does not count towards the elements that the players might get locked into for the point, because it is an IP cast, not a spell cast.
Oh, I'm sorry, rings don't count for Jules Rocks. It has to be Jules or Rocks. Never mind. Unfortunate.
I did give you the benefit of the doubt of that, and I thought you might know about an incentive that I don't, which is another one, but yeah.
Nope, I'm just an idiot.
I don't know
no,
about
no.
that, man. I mean,
Just-
you know.
Just my misunderstanding of equipables there. Mike, on those Hedoras. Oh, is that a wipe? Oh, guy. Oh, guy.
He does live. It's not even close, I mean.
No, he's so tanky. I don't know what he's got on him to make him that tanky, but he's got miracles, he's got valor. All he needs is one person to stay alive, and he should be able to get through quite an amount of punishment.
Eli mentions that Prof. Buff Swoley just now picked up a Jute Helm, which is going to make him immune to instant death effects for the character that has equipped. So that is a bit of an ironical thing.
The cave laughs in the face of your misery once more.
Yeah, some people claim that it does. We'll see.
Yes, the cave is sentient, and you live and die by her grace. That is definitely
Mike
true.
has to go for a 50-50 there, but his character
he
is
loses it.
outspeed Dora.
Oh, that sizzle sword putting in work.
The Fry Sword, you mean? Yeah.
Oh, the fry. Yeah,
possibly.
sorry, the fry sword. The
Possibly
speed
relate to
boost
that.
on that fry sword.
Mhm.
Although
Right
that
now
being
we have-
said, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that being said, the speed math is a little different when you're not taking the standard party. There's different considerations to take with enemies because you've got a different pool to work with.
Yeah, it's really hard if you're used to running any percent and then you run a completely different party to gauge what your speed levels are gonna be, right? Because even if you're used to running reject percent, having Guy instead of Selen,
Yep.
is still gonna be a bit of an adjustment here. Yeah.
But sorry, you were trying to say something before.
I was just mentioning that by now we have resources on all the escape agility and like how much your minimum maximum agility needs to be across your whole party. Yeah, there's quite a lot of numbers for a lot of things you might be considering with this game. So if you're the type of runner who's good with numbers, who likes RPGs and doesn't mind a little bit of a gamble, then this game might be something for you, just to put it out there, do a bit of advertising for this amazing RPG on the SNES, in my opinion.
Yep. And even if you're not really a math person, the collection of resources that have already been collated for you to help you figure things out, calculators, item lists, drop rates, elemental things, there is an amazing collection of strats, tips, and general information tutorials, all of which can be easily accessed through either the speedrun website or by going onto the Discord. So you don't necessarily have to do all that number crunching yourself. The community has been very generous in creating those resources for the benefit of all the people that want to get involved.
Yeah, I'm always
Ellison.
using the wrong Discord command here. Shoutouts to me. Every single
Ellison, letting us know that Hoppy has picked up 3 of the 4 Jules rocks necessary for the incentive. I think it's Gold Eye, Black Eye, and then I saw. No, I can't even remember it, but I did see
Perhaps
the
it
third.
was a cancer rock.
It was not a Cancer Rock. It was off of a
It was not a-
chest, I think. Spido Jewel. That's it.
Oh, okay,
Um,
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, one
That's
more
what
for
you
them.
need
I
for
don't know what
chest.
Hobbs' collection looks like. I know he's got at least the one.
I mean, there's plenty of time to pick up rocks. If Hoppy already finds himself with 3, it's a lot easier to make the decision and go farm enemies in Hapkanama seed than it would be if neither player. Oh, never mind, you just found a Thunder Jewel. If neither player
Okay.
already had any of those jewels, then it's pretty much not worth looking for any.
No, and we did see Hop making a bit of a what a weird stair placement. We did see Hop making a bit of an effort to find some of those Garbosts to try and pick up a Cancer Rock, just to complete his set.
Yeah.
And yep, Swoley, we're gonna see the Watering Tech. They've run away. He did go for it though. I want to
He
see it
did
happen
go for
again.
It's a tried and tested method.
Yeah. When all you've got is a ring, or
Mhm.
3.
Okay, so both teams have pretty much the same goals right now. As I'm looking at the score sheet, there is the point of using a miracle in combat, which team I'm gonna have to try my hardest here to not confuse these teams, but that should be Mike, and Prof. Solo. You got that point, as opposed to Hoppy and Hapkaname having the point of bringing 2 different unique characters and a different capsule monster. So why does Team Mike, and Prof. Swollen not have that point? Probably because they both picked Darby. Yeah.
Yep. So a little bit of an initial deficit in terms of points, but it makes the run in general a little safer.
Mhm.
The assassins come in for Hob. He's pretty buffed up right now, so that fry spell should do some decent work.
Yeah, that's
Not
that's
enough
definitely
MP for
gonna
the
kill him.
thunder.
Oh, it is not gonna kill him. Damn.
Ooh, 3
So
physicals
assassins
though.
are weak to light.
Oh yeah, those 3 physicals are gonna be more than enough. Miss Guy equipping Berserk Blade that gave him +3. Ooh. That's right. We have the character-based incentives too. Guy
Mhm.
is almost full there actually. Just needs to revive a party member with the armor's IP ability on Hop.
Yeah, whether he's gonna go for that is a different story because IP revives. It's
He
a bit
needs-
tedious to go after them, but yeah, if you know
Yeah,
what
he
you
would need
to do,
some
it's
heal
possible.
armor action going on over there.
Mhm.
But hey, you know, it's nothing to say that it's impossible, and it would give a good solid point. The 3 points for the guy incentive though, really strong.
Mhm. Yep.
But getting those extra 2, you know, every little point counts, especially when you're capped up at 70.
Yep.
Oh, Prof picks up a deadly rod. That could serve as really good insurance to help get him back into this run a bit more. Delve deep into those floors.
Definitely, he has to make up for lost time if he wants to still get deep here. So, Deadly Rod is the #1 item that's gonna help you with that.
Yep. Say,
Whereas Mike already finds himself in what's that, late 40s, early 50s.
he's getting
I don't know,
close
I
to
can never remember.
that lunchtime incentive. Which is get your capsule monster up to form 2 after floor 50.
Mhm. Yep.
So your capsule monsters, unlike your regular party members, they grow more powerful not just with levels, but by feeding them items that you find throughout the cave. Feed them enough to fill up this little bar that you'll see probably eventually, since Mike just hit 51. and you'll evolve them to a new form. Looks like he's going. Oh, no, he's going for spells.
Mhm.
I thought he might just be going and rushing it, but looks like he's gonna hold off for a little bit. Might not have enough items to let his capsule monster munch on.
Yeah. So the thing with that is Darby 1 is pretty useful. Darby 3 is the next useful capsule to have. Darby 2 doesn't really have any redeeming qualities, so if you don't think you can reliably get to 3 and get to Form 4 after, which is the one you really want for the jelly, then there is a little use to bring Darby to Form 2, and he knows he has all the time in the world to get to Darby to Form 2. If he wants the layer point, and of course,
Well, it looks like he's not
the
waiting
later you
for
feed
it
him, the
though.
more items you have, but he is not waiting for it. So yeah, he must be confident to have enough items to do it.
He's got quite a stack. Hopefully he doesn't get messed up like I do normally on the feeding math, because there's some weird calculation. You can take that
Mhm.
one. I have no idea.
Oh, I will not dare to explain it, not because I don't know it. I mean, I would be hard pressed to remember all the details, but I will definitely say that beginner runners do not need to worry about it whatsoever. You can get by just doing like very basic things. You can have a feeling of like stronger items are worth more, right? Because they appear later in the game, and how much bars they fill for capsules depends on the monetary value of the items. So if you just go by feeding weaker items first, feeding stronger items late, you're gonna have a pretty good idea of how it works, and then all the little details are gonna be important if you're trying to go for like, I don't know, sub 1 runs or ACAC or any of those categories, right? And I mean, even for sub 1 runs in 3 characters. I mean, everything else doesn't really meet those feeding strats because, I mean, let's be fair, in most of the main categories, you're gonna be fine with Sully 1, and you never need to worry about feeding. So don't let that discourage you at all from learning. And definitely, there is a lot of things you should be learning before you learn feeding strats.
He's got Darby to 2. It looks like he's trying to see how far he can get him to 3. Right off the bat.
Yeah, or even get him to 3 right away. As I said, Darby 2, he is the Disco Wolf, and he does look cool in all senses of the world, but the word. But yeah, what do you really want is Darby 3?
Yeah, but that is the point for him to get that evolution to Form 2.
Yep.
Which is a nice
Past
little.
floor 50.
Yeah.
Or I guess that means not before floor 50, right? Like sometimes.
Yeah,
you're
it
gonna
means
have a
after
stronger
floor. You
capsule.
can't evolve before floor 50, so you're gonna be walking the first half of the cave with a weaker capsule monster.
Yeah. So apparently, Hoppy got another gold eye.
Yeah, that's 4.
In the pre-tourney voice chat, Hopkanan was boasting about finding 2 gold eyes last year. Well, I guess Hoppy tried to catch up to that now.
It's a seeded
And,
run.
Yeah.
How dare he?
That means he has the four rocks now.
He does, and he's been getting some liberal use out of that Stardust blow to get through encounters. I've seen that IP attack go off a couple times. Oh, and Assassin. Or is that a ninja? I don't know what floor he's on.
That
That's a
should
ninja.
be-
Or Assassin. That's Assassin.
Where is it on the Hoppy? That would definitely be an assassin.
Yeah, he just hit 38.
Yeah.
So the ninjas are blue?
Not on the map. In battle they are.
Yeah.
On the map you actually can't differentiate them, but of course, yeah, you would know by floors.
Yeah.
And that would be an assassin. Hoppy is... Oh, there's a lot of them actually. They're
Uh-huh.
really coming after.
Ooh!
Boxing win.
Well, let's hope that
Turning
the...
into some kind of bad anime.
Oh no! Let's hope that the room with the 1 is the one with the stairs. Has a few... Like, ninjas... You know, our assassins aren't necessarily more dangerous than ninjas, but, you know, that chance of getting terminal blowed, as we saw with Swoley, sometimes they just end your run. They don't care. Not very good ninjas if you see them coming. No, but they're incredible berserkers in that you're not avoiding them, generally, if they find you.
And you gotta think about it that way. If they can afford you seeing them coming, that means something, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're still scared of them.
Yep. And we've got them on Hobbs' screen as well.
Yep. Hoppy uses one of his many jewels to deal with him. And Hapkanama is fighting the advanced version of Assassins, which are the ninja.
Yes, those are the ninjas. They spawned on top of the stairs. That is an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, ninja also have a very small chance to do an attack called Guillotine, which is their only instant kill attack, so Assassins are having a very high chance of actually instant killing you. Ninjas only have the one, and Guillotine being a 3% chance to even being used. And have actually
lucky.
saw it, but it didn't kill.
Well, lucky on that, lucky on the timing, and lucky that they did not use their big AoE attack, which they can hit 3 times if they decide to AoE you. It's not fun.
Yeah, so in this room for Hapkanami, you can see that blue lizard, which is called the Brin's lizard, or I like to call them blizzard lizards. Those drop twist jewels, which is interesting for the twist jewel goal, and it's also going to be interesting because Hapkanama is the one who needs to pull his weight in terms of the
And he's going for it. He is going in for it.
At the same time, Hoppy is definitely struggling against those Assassins here. I've seen a couple of terminal blows here as well.
Yep.
And Lexus is unfortunately going to get down from a regular attack here, so Hoppy is also taking a total defeat here. Damn.
Well, you know, at least the cave is spreading the love. That's one wipe on both sides. I would argue though that Swoley is in the better position compared to Hoppy with an earlier wipe. You have a lot more time to get back into the cave. The later your wipe, the more difficult it is to come back and try and do some of those tougher or later point incentives. And he's got the Valor now, so that should help immensely. He's got 3 guys down. That's probably the best thing he could have gotten besides Rally.
Yeah, whether he got it before or not, we will never know, I guess. But like now, he definitely has it. So as you said, the cave is kind of being an equalizer here, and both teams have one runner left alive. But in terms of what you mentioned before, of actually getting a jelly kill with a suboptimal party, Hapkanama is the runner still in the race for the orange team, and he has Decker and Artie in the party. Arguably the one with the better chances for the jelly fight. Mike is the one still in the run for the blue team, and as far as the late floors go, and he has the worst party for that, so that's something to consider. So it's not quite that equal as far as the jelly kill goes, but jelly kills are not the only way in which you can get points here, and points wise we're still looking at 11 to 10 here, assuming Eli was able to catch up with points. I'm assuming we're gonna have quite the couple minutes after the run to actually determine whether all the points have been accounted for. So always take the points total with a grain of salt.
Getting used on that Valor to instant kill the zombies. Really nice. Like a lot of other RPGs, healing and revival spells do immense damage to undead, which is great because deadlies don't do anything to them. It definitely makes some encounters a lot rougher than others, especially later on.
And
Hob
also
still going for those Brin's lizards.
Yeah, remember how I was just talking about Hapkanami needs to pull his weight with the jewels?
Yep.
As it turns out, Hoppy just lost all his jewels, taking the total defeat. So yeah.
Oh no!
Of seeing the 8 rocks and jewels goal
That's right.
Yep, back to 0 for that one.
Oh, unfortunate.
That really is unfortunate.
Did not occur to me, but yeah. A shame too if he had been able to see it coming. Obviously you can't, but like if he'd been in a situation he could have providenced out all of those were blue chest items, he'd still been able to maintain the point into a return to the cave, because when you providence, that's the only item that lets you get out of the cave without dying, acquirable on floor 20 and below. You leave the cave, but you keep anything you got in a blue chest, which are rarer than your typical red ones. Would have been a nice way of preserving that point.
Yeah,
but who
I didn't even
foresees?
think about it. They were all blue chest rocks. Yeah,
They were all blue chest rocks. He could have maybe saved those points, but you know, I think he thought he might be able to get through it, and I don't necessarily blame him.
Yeah, so Chad mentioned earlier, it was Chico saying that sessions are out for blood today. So those enemies usually aren't that worrying for runners, right? They hardly ever use Terminal Blow, if anything. Maybe one of them uses it, right? This
Yep.
kind of carnage that's going on today, like this mass slaughter going on.
They heard the
Um,
jelly jam was happening. They said it's my time to
yeah,
shine.
that's definitely the exception to the rule.
Oh, and the
Usually
double
it's the
knife
things that we're
thrower.
more worried about. Yeah, all good though.
Yeah, that's that AoE you don't want to get hit with, but thankfully he's able to get through. No Decker Blades so far that I think I've seen, Eve. Can't think. Yeah, I definitely don't think I've seen any Decker Blades.
Same here.
I mean, we've seen some good blue chest weapons. Sizzle Sword and Fry Sword have come out of the woodwork, but
Mhm.
no Gady's Blade, no big fractionals. We are definitely a little sore for them. Although Swoley just picked up a Curse Lifter, that could be nice down the road.
Yeah.
And-
And
but-
Mike is hopefully about to pick up some cores and also picked up a couple of points for his team using Lexus. He picked up the one spell representing the 4 main elements goal and applying a status effect after floor 50 with Lexus.
Yeah, big chunk of
that
5 points
Jumped him
there.
up to exactly 15 versus 10 points now for those two teams.
Will he get a no core? He does. No cores being the most EXP generous of the types of cores.
Mhm.
Just
all enemies in the cave
incredible.
actually.
What's up? All enemies in the
That's
cave.
All enemies in the cave. Yeah, it's the most
Ah,
experience
yeah.
you can get from any single enemy.
Phenomenal. Oh, and a water jewel for
There's a water
Swoley.
jewel.
My man is swimming
He-
today.
Yeah, there is a lot of water-themed items for him. Maybe that's the tears the assassins brought in.
Oh,
I do feel for
Cruel.
him though, like
cruel and
so
unusual
both
punishment.
teams- it is though, isn't it? So yeah, I mean both teams have taken a death, and as you said, the blue team is probably a bit better off in that regard because Prof of Soli is further down the cave. But for once, I don't know whether those teams are actually aware of that happening. I don't know if they have the streams up in the background or whether they're actually being allowed to do that.
I
the other
remember-
thing is, no matter what,
So I remember in previous years you could quote unquote stream snipe.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's not like it
that
provided
was
you with an
allowed.
advantage.
No, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I personally, in infallible odds or whatever, it was always a thing, and there's no need to over-regulate things, right? With all the things being random. Ever since this year's Fail Blowout, we have seen a de-randomized cave where stream sniping was not allowed anymore. So yeah, that is why I bring it up. I'm not perfectly certain, but I'm sure that people will know.
Oh,
they're
Ellison,
actually
you can-
running in the tournament.
Ellison can confirm or deny that one. Hobbs still going for these Brins Lizards. Really wants this Twist Jewel. Not getting it though.
There's a watering for Hoppy now, so maybe
There we
my
go.
tears theory is on something. Yeah, but what I was
I think
gonna
he was the
say
one to
is
pick
that
up Dragon
no
as
matter
well.
Oh, fair. Oh, that would be good then. Yeah, no matter how balanced it is in terms of teams, you're definitely always going to feel bad to taking a death, especially in a team event. And yeah, those guys are definitely not going to be happy about that. Yeah, we can only hope that their teammates are going to be gentle in their criticism.
Well, that's all. They can only be critical if real critical if they make it to the bottom. I'm sorry. It's sat in front of me, and I would have been remiss not to take a swing at
You
it.
do not want to be my teammate and die. Just saying, for future events. Go on.
But no, they're gonna have to not take a death themselves if they want to remain haughty about it. I say that jokingly, of course. All of the runners and the community as a whole is very respectful and very welcoming and has been very understanding towards beginners and even experienced runners making decisions that aren't necessarily optimal because it is a very difficult run. It's a long run, and there's a lot of decision points to make. So it's a very easygoing time, and we just have fun.
Yeah, you're definitely
don't-
right. That does deserve some emphasis. So I said in the beginning, and I'll say it again now, or I'll double down on what you said. The cave is a random game, and yeah, we can never be sure that any single run is gonna be finishable. Stuff can happen like those assassins going all in with the terminal blows, and yeah. It
So-
is definitely not a testament to the skill of those runners alone. If a death happens, I'll definitely give them the benefit of the doubt every single time in these tournaments. And decision points. I see what you did there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so Mike
Hoppy now
makes
picked up a watering and a thundering, which is great.
Ooh. Lovely. Water Ring only so helpful. Thunder Ring could be really good. I think he has Thunder. To get the bonus damage off of it.
Yeah, it doubles the spell power, which for spells like Thunder and Dragon, which are already really strong, is gonna be nice.
Yeah. Especially if he
Meanwhile,
gets the
Hopkanami,
jelly.
Still playing with Blizzard Lizards. He has been there for a couple times, which to me says that he is really farming those Swiss
And
jewels
he wants-
if he can.
He wants those. And you know what? With the bonus and speed the Twist Jewels give, even if it weren't part of a point incentive, it's not necessarily the worst decision in the world.
Yep.
You do definitely appreciate having that little bit of agility to try and get out of some of the later encounters of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so time management is definitely an important thing in these tournaments. You have a 2-hour time limit for these runs. It doesn't matter if you finish at 1:30, right? There's no time goals or anything like that. And even in tournaments where they are, they're not making up a huge composition. So you gotta make a kind of strategy that gives you a lot of points before you get to jelly, but also leave you enough leeway to actually make it there. It's definitely a factor, and it's even worse in a team tournament where you have to also, communicate with your teammate. These guys are all sitting in voice talking to each other while this happens, so that's very interesting. Trying to guess what they're strategizing and what they're on about.
Yeah, but that's part of what makes this event a lot more interesting than like an interesting event as opposed to just a regular race where we just try and get down as quickly as possible without necessarily considering safety. We see like the other benefit of fighting all these Brinz lizards for Hob is getting a bunch of EXP to keep him safe on those later floors. Same with Swoley here going for these Garbosts. Especially if you miss out on getting too many cores, you get a good amount of safety EXP to help you survive into the next section of the game. Double deadlies, Hoppy picking up a rod, Swoley getting a pick. Definitely helps them on these. What's up?
Swoley already picked up a deadly rod this run, right at the beginning. But he has 2 characters that can equip him, so yeah, maybe he is going to put the fail pick to use. We'll see.
Yep. It depends. I don't know. Does Mike have any deadlies on him right now? I don't think he does. So he
I'm not sure.
would be free to put both of those deadlies on without sacrificing that deadly point incentive.
Yeah, speaking from experience from past tournaments where we've already seen that goal, I would say that goal is one of the first goals to just forfeit in order to just be able to get a really good opportunity to clear the cave or clear the cave fast, right? So say Mike already had the deadly rod equipped, then I don't know, you could gamble it. If Mike didn't and Prof. Swoley had, if I were Mike, I wouldn't hesitate equipping it. Because you just want to make sure that you can get through those late floors. 1 point, more or less, isn't going to matter all that much.
Certainly, if you're feeling like it's the difference between a point and a late death,
Yeah.
I agree.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to do it like blindly, right? But like, if
Yeah.
the situation calls for it, maybe don't hesitate too much because that 1 point.
In the grand scheme of things, especially
Yeah.
compared to the points you get for the character incentives, being the only ones that give you more than a single point per objective.
Yeah.
Definitely worth heavier consideration. Although surprisingly, I don't think we've seen the Decker kills 3 enemies in a single action, which is rough, but if you had a good AOE IP attack, not impossible.
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta
Mike
have
Mike's
the right
gotten
gear
it?
for it.
Does Mike have it? I didn't see it on the
You
card.
have it? He does not have it because he has not. He does not have Decker.
Yep.
He has
Oh,
the guy objective,
Ellis.
which is
Sorry.
2 or more enemies.
I misread, and so I jumped the gun on Ellison's comic. He's attempting to put himself
gotcha.
to sleep. Oh. An interesting decision, Cotton.
Maybe he just likes cats.
Mayhaps. The point is to have Lexus apply a status effect. Ah, right. The Lexus incentives.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't even thought about it as being able to apply it to yourself, but yeah, I suppose that's true. No, I know it doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, doesn't specify
It
the
would.
target. It's a good workaround.
Mhm. So, you guys are saying I'm basically right. He does like to play with those cats
Yeah.
in one shape or another.
Here's just expecting using a confuse ball or something. Wow. Oh, that's another incentive. The kitchen sink. The use an item to defeat an enemy. I know that both Mike and Hob have gotten that. I wonder if Swoley and Hoppy are gonna try and pop that point as well.
Mhm.
But I don't know what attack
So-
items they do or don't have on them.
It is a team
obvious-
goal.
What's up?
So both, it is a team goal. So no team
Yeah.
has gotten points because of that yet. Meaning, Puff Puff Soul and Hoppy can basically go for their goal for a point. If they don't, then the other player has gotten a team. Well, that goal for nothing. I want to say, quote unquote. You can't always make it happen.
Yep.
But yeah,
You never know when you might find a
50%
terror
of the
ball.
work is already done. Yeah.
Yep. All you need is one lucky terror ball or, an item on a core, and
Mhm.
and suddenly you're good to go.
So Upkanama is in a bit of a not so nice encounter. He doesn't seem to have any problems with the regular attacks, but Salon already got destroyed by one of the instant kill attacks, and those guys, they do attack twice. For
He's
each
out of there
enemy,
though,
so,
thankfully.
yeah, definitely a force to be reckoned with, even though we normally ignore them because it's one of the enemies that to experienced runners, they're rather easily to avoid. As I said in the beginning, sometimes you're gonna gamble on nothing happening and you find yourself in an encounter anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, thankfully he does have strong, the weakest of the healing spells, but definitely the most efficient to help
Mhm.
him survive through a relative lack of healing items. The cave sometimes just doesn't give you those, and a healing spell is something of a godsend if the cave decides that you're not going to be getting your potions. Swoley's on green core territory now. Made his way
He's
back up
definitely caught up
relatively
nicely.
quickly.
hmm So he needs to pick up the pace because of him taking a death, unfortunately. A couple of, what was that, like 40 minutes in, I believe?
Yeah,
or
he
was it
he took it
Hoppy?
relatively early. He took it to the ninjas or the assassins, so
The
that would have been
Assassins.
around 38.
So it's definitely still possible for them to get there. So the any percent world record is somewhere along the 46 minutes, meaning that even if players took death now, they could all still make it in theory. In practice, however, it's a bit more difficult. And yeah, there is a good
Well,
reason that we put the time limit for these tournaments at 2 hours.
Well, it's going to be a little easier for both of them now. Swoley gets Zap, incredibly powerful. Mike picks up an old sword.
hmm
for that
Yeah,
delicious,
that's-
delicious IP attack.
That's really going to be good for him. I mentioned it before as one of the weapons that you want to have for Maxim if you're trying to tackle the jelly with a suboptimal party. What he really wants with that is a Cancer Rock, and I'm not sure if he actually has it. I know
I don't
he killed
believe
a couple
he
of
does.
Garbos, but
I don't believe I saw him actually pick up that Cancer Rock, no.
mhm,
So unfortunate,
it would be nice.
but it's better to have the old sword than the Cancer Rock.
Mhm.
Just in
That's
terms
fair.
of general
That's fair.
survivability as well, being able to get through some enemies with that old sword's incredible strength.
Mhm. Yep,
Only saw one. Yeah. Oh, and
with
Hob
that party,
going.
if you don't have a Cancer Rock, that's not a great equipment for the jelly fight. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe you can make something happen.
Maybe Hobbs making something happen here with the capsule monster feeding incentive. Gonna get that half of his point. But
He did get the Disco Wolf incentive. That's very nice.
Yep. The only problem is that Hoppy needs to make his way up to floor 50 to get the other half of it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there are also goals which are single goals, so players can choose to go for them individually, which is to evolve your capsule monster to M form and devolve it from there again. Which, since most people here are using Darby, would be the light fruits to well, the holy fruit to
Yeah.
evolve to M form, and then the dark fruit to devolve it. Both of those fruits only drop from like the 60s floors, so that's where Mike is at right now. I didn't see him go for any of those enemies yet, which would be white dragons and black dragons, but we'll see.
we will see indeed. If nothing else, it is nice having just the feeding incentive.
Yeah.
Definitely the easier point. What's happening? Is he trying to use Guy to revive right now? Is that the idea? He did pick up a heal armor, Mike, so he might be going for a resurrection off the IP attack, which will give him 2 more points and fulfill all of all of Guy's requirements for individual point incentive or for character point incentives.
Yeah, he has the goal already marked, which makes me believe that
He
has
just
already
did it.
gone for it.
Excellent. Yep.
And he just killed a couple of white dragons, which makes me believe he does want to go for the Form 5. as
Probably.
just said. Yeah, so he is going back to Darby Form 3 there. I'm
Once
assuming
that-
he just fed to 4. Did I see that correctly?
Hoppy didn't get the kitchen sink point. Not that I saw. Hold on. Hoppy kitchen sink. Yeah, Hoppy did get the kitchen sink. I'm sorry. Hob needs to get the kitchen sink point. Sorry, they're reversed on my card, so I misread it.
Yeah. That happened to me a couple of times too. Really got to pay attention to names on the scoreboard.
Yep, it's tough keeping track of a scoreboard and 4 people's screens. That's for sure. Not
Yeah,
used
and
to it.
chat.
This is definitely a first for me in terms of screen management.
Yeah, I mean, in
Swoley
that
going-
regard, welcome to the roster, and you're doing a great job, man. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate it, and I'm having a lot of fun. The event so far has been really nice, even with these few difficulties in the runs, a couple of unfortunate deaths. All the runners showing a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill in managing both their different teams and the cave in general. So it's been really cool.
And they're doing a good job showing off how bad runs can work in the cave, right? So that's also why it's good to have these community events. They're mainly just about having fun and taking your chances in a more casual setting, whereas regular ones will usually, draw on your spirit enough as it is.
I definitely have a few moments of screaming my head off at unfortunate circumstances. The ability to get back into the game after an unfortunate death is probably just as vital to being able to take part. Oh, is that a Decker Blade for Hoppy?
That is a Decker Blaze for Hoppy, and he does not have Decker in his party.
Oh,
As far as I've seen,
the
that is
cave.
the first
Oh, and it's an early one too on 18.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the cave
So-
giveth, the cave taketh away. My
For
goodness.
what it's worth, he still has the Deca Blade.
Accurate. Now we just need to make the mod that lets you swap items back and forth between players.
Man, I wonder if someone's working about that.
I mean, I think that would be a really fun way of doing a tag tournament. Just being able to trade items back and forth between players. But, you know.
Deca Blade.
Hoppy actually paused on his screen for a bit. I think he was just a little dumbfounded and had to recover for a second from the
He had to use all his
despair.
focus to complain about it to his teammates, probably.
With Archipelago running the
you don't want
basis
to see
for
from
such...
Mike.
I'm sorry?
I said there is an encounter you probably don't want to see from Mike, but I think he's good.
Double leech. A couple of people in chat saying essentially the framework for such a run is already there. Well, we just need to implement it. Might be a fun new event.
It's not released, but it is being worked on, as I hinted on there for a moment.
The double-decker run. Double-decker dash.
I'm definitely curious in terms of team composition what we're going to see here in the tournament, because there is no need to split up all the characters, right? These teams could have decided to both take Decker, for example. That is an option that they had. They didn't go for that in order to maximize their points, and as we can see on the score sheet, both parties are actually going for the characters' incentives, which is good. I also wouldn't be surprised though if some in the other teams said, no, we'd rather take the Jellicle chance and the added safety throughout the run by taking Decker.
That's
We'll
possible.
It's
also...
in that regard, there is another match right after this one. So yeah.
That's true. We could see a very different strategy come into play. I think it's entirely possible though that because you have to evaluate also the difficulty of the individual character point incentives. And Decker's got a couple tough ones. Equip an old item during the jelly battle, the 3 enemies, dealing 1,000 damage in a single action, not terribly difficult with an IP attack. But other characters definitely have more manageable early floor incentives to work with. And the decision point there might have been, let's maximize points early in case of a dead run, instead of hoping that we can get far enough to fulfill Decker's.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I talked to Eli about it, and he has balanced these goals so that stronger characters such as Decker definitely have harder goals because they're good for the run in general, right? So Decker's and Artie's goals are going to be harder to fulfill than, say, Lex's and probably Salon's goals, which are typically underused characters. So, yeah.
The world is not yet ready for 2 Deckers.
Yeah, I mean, Bang is talking about it in chat, he's working on it, and I'm sure it's going to release right after its improved movement tutorial.
Oh no!
When it will be ready, you can read about it in the Ancient Cave Discord, which I will shout out one more time. This time with the correct bot command. You look at me, I'm such a tech nerd.
Haha! He's cracked the code. He's figured it out. 3 Arties and 1 Decker. Oh boy. Let's just do a 4 Decker cave. It's like, yeah, let's just pick up 4 Deckers. 4 Decker blades. Yep, Prof at floor 50 trying to get his Darby fed up, and he makes it to second form. All right. We've got the points. We've got that incentive fulfilled for Mike, and Swoley.
Triple Disco Wolf, I like it.
Yeah. Giving you the pointer finger something fierce.
Yeah. Look over there.
Hey, what's that? You know, it'd be funny if he had Transmaker. That was just how he used Transmaker.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what's behind you? What?
A 3-headed monkey.
An Orky.
It's nice.
Oh,
Maybe
God.
when the 16:9 patch comes out, we'll finally know what he points to. Until then, though.
It's actually
Try to say
it's
seven,
just.
by the way.
Oh man, I guess Mike's still hunting for the dark fruit here for
Yeah.
for Darby, off the Black
He's still in
Dragons.
for the fruit, I would assume.
Yep.
He does need to get the holy fruit first, because the dark fruit is pretty much useless for all intents and purposes in terms of points go. If he does not have the holy fruit, so he does need to kill white dragons, get the holy fruit. I did not see that drop yet. So
Definitely
wouldn't be
saw him
surprised
fight a
if I
few,
missed it.
but yeah, I didn't see a
Yeah.
drop either.
Yeah. He did use the Silver Sword's IP attack to kill him, which is Firestorm, which of course uses or abuses the elemental weakness, so he's well equipped to actually go for a hunt. White dragons ordinarily are not enemies you want to mess with too much.
Oh, Hob gets the old armor and the Myth
Mhm.
Blade.
Nice.
Two fantastic
So,
pickups.
that really is good. Old armor, pretty much just for the point. Defense in this game isn't all that important, up to borderline unnecessary or useless.
No, but it's 3
Um,
points for Decker.
Yep, definitely. So there is a gold gorm now, yet another enemy you don't necessarily want to mess with, and you do want to have a good way to tackle them. Usually insta-kill weapons are the way to go. Yeah, we're gonna see how this battle goes. He does have a couple of neutral weapons, such as the Myth Blade that he just found, which is gonna definitely help him here.
It can inevitably be 3 points. Yes, of course. But it's 3 points that you don't have to debate by trying to equip an old sword to him instead of a Decker blade, if he finds one. Definitely between the two options, you want to be able to equip that old armor and have a Decker blade. Then, force yourself into an old sword situation. Oh, that's a terror ball off of Hob. I think that's his item kill.
Oh yeah, good call.
So that's another fulfilled point for that
he-
team.
Wasn't he the one who already had it?
I
believe
thought it was
the-
Hoppy had the.
Oh yeah. Well, never mind. That team now has that goal, or that point. So
Yep. Kitchen sink achieved.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, so because I made the mistake earlier by looking at the chart backwards.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But
I made the mistake of trusting you. I'm sorry.
oh, foolish
just kidding.
indeed.
Yeah.
Never
Mike might be
trust the
struggling
bard.
against a couple of ghost ships here.
Yeah.
And by struggling, I just mean he has to encounter it a couple of times. I think he first tried to defeat it.
Oh, I see a blue chest. Or is that a blue mimic? I can't tell what floor he's on. That is a blue mimic. Okay. Hey,
What'd you
Leoned.
miss so far? Basically, an R23 of a lot of randomness. The bottom two runners already took a very unfortunate death that I don't think they could have done all that much about. The top two runners are struggling for, trying to carry their teams further on, just as much as the bottom two are. And if you look at the rules table that I will link again momentarily in the chat, then you can check out how the point totals worked so far.
Hob getting through that gold Gorm encounter. Mike picks up the Gorgon Rock. That's 2 of his 4 rocks. We're gonna have to get
You
slowly
are
back
very
into the
focused
roll.
on that rock incentive.
What's up?
You are very focused on that rock incentive,
I-
which isn't a bad
Looking
thing.
at the incentives, it seemed like more difficult to pick up than even a jelly kill. And I
It is a daring one, yeah.
I very much want to see it happen, if only so that it could be a hype moment, right? Like I
Yeah.
love seeing the accomplishment of the really tough incentives, not necessarily ones that are fully random, but ones that are half random, half skill, and seeing them go for those rocks, trying to manage their parties around these encounters, is I think one of the more interesting strats that they can debate between their teams.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a really good a good measure of their decision making abilities, to whether or not or how they approach incentives like that.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to mention that since I saw that message in chat right now about the game holding a special place in their heart, as yet another person in the second half of their 30s and having the same childhood memories with this game, it is a very underrated game. But for those who played it back in the day, and I mean there is a lot in the Ancient Cave community, yeah, it is definitely a very unforgettable experience almost, and I can definitely see how so many people gather around here like 25 years later or something like that, and yeah, still have fun with this game because it definitely stood the test of time. And
As
I don't
someone,
think it's a game that we just play for the nostalgia, because it really still is a good game, even outside of that. But the nostalgia is a really good motivator as well to still take a look at it. So yeah, by all means, enjoy the event.
as someone who didn't grow up with this game, who found it through events like this, it's endlessly impressive just the sheer amount of love this community has for this game from the whole age spectrum. So it's really heartwarming seeing so much passion for a game that honestly I didn't even know about, and most people I know never really knew about, but has such a beloved community, or that is so beloved by such a large community. It's definitely a special place.
Yeah, we are nearing the 100 runners on the leaderboard, so
We
if you
are.
want to help out with that.
I'm already on the board, unfortunately, but anyone who is getting a little enticed at here, that ! Discord command to pull up the Ancient Cave Discord, full of resources, full of fun people. Definitely great. I know I got a lot of help from the community in my runs, helping with movement, helping with jelly kill setup. So there's always people willing to help you at all stages of your running career. So I wouldn't feel daunted. It's a really chill group. So come give it a try. I definitely don't regret it.
Yeah, it's nice of you to say. I'm glad you got a warm welcome, as I think a lot of other people have. And
I mean, there's a reason I'm here right now, and that's because even as
and I'm there
well,
as
even
well. Yeah.
even as a beginning, well, I mean, here commentating is that even as a runner with only so much experience, everyone was really receptive and encouraging of me to, be involved with this event. And even though I didn't feel comfortable taking part, there's plenty of opportunities to get involved, from both an early runner, and then when you get more experience participating. So there's a place for everyone in this community, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, going back to how we've seen 2 deaths in this tournament here already, it's kind of hard to laugh at them or something, because it's happened to all of us before, and it's just such an understandable component about the game. So
Yep, there's getting hit with a string of fatal blows from those ninjas is definitely a rite of passage. As is the dragon dance that Hob is doing right now to try and get to these stairs.
yeah, so Mike just equipped a deadly sword, I think, and that might be another decision point moment there.
He does have a curse lifter, so it's not a permanent equip on there.
Yep.
But considering the array of enemies before the stairs in front of him, something's going on
He's
there.
doing some higher math right now, I believe.
Yep.
And he has to fight through Orkies, which is an enemy that attacks 8 times if they do attack.
Yep. Or one
so yeah,
time if you
he's
get
definitely
bizarrely
stomach.
lucky.
Fair.
They do have one big AoE, as I found out the other day, so sometimes you just pray that happens. But Deadly Sword and Deadly Rod or Pick? He had 2 Deadlies on. We'll get him through that encounter without too much hassle, thankfully. I just gotta get through this genie. So Swoley all the way up to this near 60 now with the empty cores.
second old sword for Mike.
Oh my
And
goodness.
He's sporting 2 Cancer Rocks. That would be really good. As it is right now, he might not be able to do all that much with him alone. But it's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing. But Swoley making a very convincing return from that from that death.
Oh yeah, he wants it.
He does want it. He wants it bad.
And that's yet another thing about team tournaments, I think, that even if you'd normally like throw the towel and be like, yeah, whatever, man, I've had it with this cave. Like, you're determined to help your teammate out, you know, even if you take a death, you can still contribute points, and I mean, you know, it's working out. So, yeah, there's absolutely no reason to give up at this point.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, but even with the difference in
Both doing
progress,
well.
you can see those points are pretty close, only a 4-point difference. So, you know, even if they don't get quite as deep, they can definitely turn the game around with just a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill without necessarily getting to that jelly. Swoley's
And
PB
Eli's
is
pointing out that,
137. Wow.
Profs- exactly. So, taking into consideration that they died, what was it? I said 40 minutes in or something like that.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, that means that if he gets a jelly kill now, it will be very close to his PB. As I said, he is one of the newest runner in this race right here, by far. He died 32 minutes in, okay, so yeah.
Okay, so he has a good amount of time to get back in. He's going for the Hydoras.
Mm-hmm. I'll
What's a
still
Hydora
I stand by my statement though that it's going to be close enough to his PB for that to definitely not be an overly confident run as it would be for some other runners who have gotten like back in the pace an hour and still got the jelly. You know, that happened in tournaments before.
Yeah. It's been seen, it's certainly possible. Hob in a
Mighty Wolf
potentially
Punch.
painful encounter against the Leech here. I think he got did he get the back attack?
Perhaps I did not look at an encounter as it happened. Or as it started. Oh, there's a very interesting situation for Hoppy here. He does take the surprise attack from the Assassins.
Oh, it's so
Um,
close.
Yeah, so normally, let's hope these Assassins will not get him a second time. As I said earlier, we're usually not too worried about them, and you can see they're not doing Terminal Blow even a single time, not even a single character even gets close to dying here, so, yeah.
He's on the stairs though, so that's a quick out, and thankfully not taking any more of those terminal blows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. As I said earlier, that was really unlucky for both Prof and Hoppy. So I'm happy we didn't have to see the third time.
I think I would have needed a few water rings after that one too. Like, I'm not, you know, even when you're not the one running, you never like to see it.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel good watching someone else suffer through it.
definitely. I mean, for these tournaments, as I said, it's all about having fun as a community, and it's always great to see people have like the battle they want rather than, you know, fighting for like who got 2 points and who got 1 in the end of a race. So yeah, it's good to see. This is a good battle so far. So maybe I should point out that we have 70 points in total as far as what can be gotten. And you might be thinking, okay, there is only 20 and 16 points by these two teams here. Are they not doing so well? These points are not meant to be, like, not all points of these are to be gotten at once. You can perhaps do it, but it's going to be incredibly hard. So, yeah, we're going to have to see. This is the first year we're running with a points system like this. So we're still going to have to see how many points can be gotten. It's safe to say that 20 and 16 is not the max that is reasonable at this point, because 2 of these 4 players already took a death, right?
Right.
So in the race that's going to happen later today, we might see a bit more points, but hopefully none of the players actually take a death. But we're also probably going to see more points in this race, and it's definitely still a close race because, I mean, we got 25 minutes left to go. And yeah, I mean, these teams are 4 points apart, which might seem like a lot in comparison if you look at the points totals right now. But there is still a lot of achievements to get here, and yeah, some of these points can only be gotten later in cave or even in a jelly fight. So let's not write anyone off at this point of the race.
Oh, absolutely not. And there is a lot of difficult points. The frying pan incentive, the M-form incentives, having all the same matching items while fighting 4 of the same enemy. That one's that one's a rough one. Prof
Yeah.
gets the Myth Blade.
Nice. That's gonna be good.
That is gonna be good.
If he does make it to the jelly in 25 minutes, not gonna be easy, but it's possible.
Oh,
And
almost got double
that is
terminal
gonna
blowed
happen.
again, Hoppy. Making it out of that ninja encounter with the sliver of health and only 1 terminal blow landing, but boy, I can't imagine what it must have felt like in that moment seeing terminal blow pop up a second time.
Yeah.
Only played the game as a rental as a kid, so once in a while something shows up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, nostalgia is definitely strong with a game like this.
No. We are playing the Ancient Cave here, which if you only rented the game, you probably would have never seen it, because we're playing in gift mode, which is unlocked if you beat the game twice. You can't even access the Ancient Cave in the regular story mode, but only after, say, like 10 to 15 hours of gameplay, so casually anyway. So yeah, it is a game mode that I guess relatively few people have even seen, considering that renting it was an option here.
Yeah. Definitely not in my time. Although it looks like Mike might picked up the Tia Survive Cinder Blast incentive for 3 juicy points.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah. Got the apron equipped, was able to take 1, and immediately got killed by the other, but that's okay. She survived the 1, and that's all that matters.
That's very nice. So I'm looking at these character objectives here, and that makes Mike the first person who completed, or the first runner who completed all 3 goals for a character, which gives him an additional point, or
Yep.
gives the team an additional point, or at least I believe.
I believe that's true.
2 characters with a complete goal list. Never mind, I'm lying. Never mind.
Oh.
No need to correct me.
Unfortunate.
I can read.
Oh, yep.
I can read.
You're right.
But nevertheless, he is 1 character down the line, and he has 3 more characters. No, wait, he has 2 more characters with 2 points in the waiting. So yeah, if you can get
No
guys and
incentives for
Lexus
Max.
third goal. Although I will say, getting Lexus first goal now, although it is supposed to be easy, is going to be almost impossible now.
My enemy's a little too strong
Because
at
of
this
the
point.
strength that enemies have at this point, yeah. So
Yep,
Yeah, we'll
definitely
see
gonna be a
what's
tough
gonna
time.
happen.
But Guy as well. I don't know if he's got a spare curse lifter to equip and unequip a deadly. Excuse me, but he may forego that point incentive entirely for the sake of trying to get a jelly kill.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because the jelly points are quite a couple at once, right? And as I said earlier, just the deadly goal is 1 point.
Well, the deadly goal is for Guy specifically is 3, and fulfilling it would give the extra 1. So it is the same
Oh, I
amount
see.
of points.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, sorry. The equipped Guy with a deadly armor, sword, berserk blade, or lucky blade. I mean, 4 points off of getting that incentive. It's a guarantee compared to the jelly kill, but if he can manage both, you know, that's potentially
Yeah.
8 points instead of a 4.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's gonna decide to go for the glory and go for the jelly kill instead. You know, even though it's not as efficient, perhaps. But what
it
you can
does
definitely do if he
tiebreaker,
has
though,
the option
right?
to equip one of those. That's fair. That's fair.
So he may be considering that option as well. If both teams get the same number of points by the end of the time, there are a couple of tiebreakers, and first jelly kill is the top tiebreaker. With such a close, with such a narrow gap between both scores, that might honestly be the more sage option.
So the gap just did widen a little bit. as Team Buff Mike just got 3 more points. So as I said, that those 4 points distance can be acquired in little to no time. Unfortunately, if you're looking to oh, there's a myth play for Mike. If
Oh
you're looking
my
at it from
gosh.
a point of equalization, the 3 points were for the wrong team. But of course, yeah, they were earned. So
Man, so right now Mike is rocking Mythblade, Old Sword, like 2 Old Swords, I think.
2 old swords, of which you can only use 1. Yeah.
But he's got the Gorgon Rock. I think he's got a Curse Lifter. I don't know if he's got the Deadly Rod on, but he might be able to Curse Lift the Deadly Rod. Oh no, he's got to Curse Lift the Deadly Sword on Maxim right now.
Yeah. He
That's-
definitely wants to do that, seeing as he has the myth blade and the old sword.
Yeah. So, but if he picks up a second one, you know, that's a pretty steep increase in damage. I don't know. I think he has Thunder though. So
I'm still not convinced if he has a Cancer Rock, and if he doesn't have a Cancer Rock, this is a way worse setup. And now he has Trick though, so man.
oh, that could
Darby
do
4
it.
as well. He might just find a way to get this kill, perhaps, even with this party.
It could possibly come down to a couple lucky rolls from the Capsule monster, but that's not unheard of.
Yeah, especially for Darby, who is quite reliable. Wow, I can speak English today. That's very nice.
This is a heck of a room. Thank goodness those stairs were not on the top left.
Yeah, and that was very good movement.
Yep, we're on 86 with Mike. Really, really getting close to that floor 99.
87, yeah, he does have to factor in a little bit of time for IP farming, perhaps, and he might decide to go for a couple of goals once he gets the copper floors, if he has any battle goals left, which I'm not quite sure if he does, but yeah.
If he
In
gets
general,
the
if you
curse,
look at the scorecards,
if he gets the Curse Lifter, a second Curse Lifter, he could go for the Guy incentive. That's not a battle one. Lexus, we've already discussed, probably out of any sort of reasonable reach. And that leaves him with defeating an enemy with an item.
I guess so.
And the genies, but I think he's out of genie territory.
He's at 87 now, if I didn't miss his 88 stairs, so if he's hit 88... Oh no, he's at 88, so yeah.
Yep, he's in 88.
He's out of genie territory.
Alright, well then I think he's pretty much out of incentives besides the defeat with an item incentive. It might just be a run now to get to the jelly.
There's
Mega Axe. Oh man.
So he's definitely getting some gear to work with here. Mega Axe is going to be interesting if he picked up a Hedora Rock, which I didn't see, but I saw him farm as well, so...
I know he got a Gorgon Rock. I didn't see a Hedora. Sky Sword for Hob.
Nice. Who also, I mean, I've been talking about Mike here for a little bit, but Hopkanam is also on his way to Jelly. I did not see him pick up a Deca Blade, but he does have a party where he can get away with a little bit more as long as he has the proper equipment for it.
I think the only one
a good
to pick up
weapon for Decker and Zap, maybe.
Yeah, I think the only one to pick up a Decker Blade so far... Oh, that is a Dragon Con and a half. The only one to pick up a Decker Blade so far is Hoppy, who,
Yeah, I think so
notably,
too.
not running Decker.
Mhm.
Oh, this room is... This is going to be interesting. He's got those deadlies. It's not undoable.
And this is where knowledge of the enemy movement is going to be really important. So, yeah, what he tries to do here is get the summoner out of the bottom room, which he almost manages. Yeah, no, he did.
Oh, nope, back in. There we
No,
go.
no, it's fine. Oh yeah, you're.
I'm on a bit of a
yeah,
delay,
you're
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
Slowly getting through that leech encounter very nicely. The use of IP attacks has definitely been one of the highlights of the run, I think, so far. A lot of really smart IP choices in order to get through tougher encounters with the more limited moveset.
yeah, I'm glad we see IP things here in general. Second deck of blades for Hoppy.
Oh, come on.
It's just.
Man's got the double-decker sandwich. He's eating good.
salt into the wounds. And yeah, I mean, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I'm sure it was very educational.
I can't imagine it was anything less than profound. Certainly.
There you go. Thanks for your trust. In any case, Mike with a combination of, I want to say, patience and luck, and now a misstep, managed to get into the stairs to 91. That's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Hob really close on his heels though.
Mhm.
They've definitely pulled ahead with some points though, an almost 10-point gap.
Yep.
A little dance around the Archfiend there.
More than 10 points, actually.
Oh, now it is. When I looked at it, it was 25.
I see. Nice.
But you know, I don't want to count Swoley out of this just yet. If he makes a mad dash, he could get there. Might not get a kill, but can definitely get those, make it to floors and defend in the fight points.
Yeah, he did get the dark fruit, for what it's
Ooh,
worth.
That's, I mean, that's
So
positive.
there's 14 more minutes in the run, and they have to get to floor 99, which is the jelly floor, in the 2 hours time limit. If they are on the jelly floor within the 2 hours time limit, they get time to equip their characters and do whatever to fight the jelly. So they do not have to kill the jelly within the 2 hours, but they have to get to the floor within the 2 hours.
Yep. And Mike looking like he might get a convincing pop in there, but Hob only at 83 right now. You know, that's not too far away either. That's doable.
Yeah, he could make it easily enough. The question is whether he still feels like he needs to pick up, say, a Gorgon Rock, for example, or he needs to IP farm, and that can easily, shift the balance in that regard. Because 30 minutes is a lot in one sense, but
Yep. It looks like
can easily not be
Hoppy's.
enough.
It looks like Hoppy's somewhat given up on rushing down. He looks like he's killing these Brinz lizards, trying to pick up some rock. But at floor 47 with 13 minutes, I think it's a pretty safe bet that he's not going to be able to rush down unless the cave says, "Here's a bunch of stairs next to one another."
That would be quite the run. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I've
he's
not
only got
seen that
Guy
yet
alive
in
right
the
now. Uh-oh.
Mhm.
I don't think he has any revival.
I mean, there is no point deduction if he does lose. Oh, there is a blue chest for Mike.
Oh,
It was a ruse, though.
unfortunate. It was a ruse. A clever ruse.
That might help him with RP farming for Tia, because he does need RP on Tia, which means that she might survive Cinnablast.
It does, in fact, get equipped. I'm so used to not being able to put that guy on. Oh, a second
Mega
blue!
X, in the same room, that's right, yeah.
Goodness.
One is special, one outside of it, but damn, he's
Say-
not going to be
say
able
what
to
you
use the second Mega X. Damn.
Yeah, say what you will about the Dragon Con, they have loaded pockets in here.
Yeah, that's fair. They certainly did collect their treasures.
Think she still had an apron on from earlier. Probably from the incentive there, yes.
Maybe.
Guy
As I
with
said,
Thundo
defense
Ring,
isn't that
Thundo
important,
Jewel.
so.
Fun
Nice.
combo.
Thundo Ring will double the spell power. Thundo Jewel is just named after the element, pretty much, but
It's
both
still fun
really
to
good
see
items
it.
to have.
Yep. Think
Nice.
Mike's looking for the second curse lifter. I agree. I would want those. I would want the 4 extra points from Guy as well, but he's only got one or 2 floors left to try and find
you gotta
one.
have to look at the points here. Team Buff Mike is pulling away with 29 to 16 points, and
That he is.
I mean, things can happen, I assume, but I wouldn't blame Mike for being confident with that points total and try to go for the Jelly Kill instead. Because let's be honest, we're all curious whether that can actually be converted to a kill.
Oh, lucky
And,
stairs! Lucky stairs! And champion at the very end. Goodness. Yep. This, unless he gets a little too greedy, which can happen. You can get greedy. You can get a
Actually-
really bad room.
I usually don't do the damage counts for these kind of tournaments, but I mean, I'm just
I've got a
curious for
calculator
how
up.
close he's gonna get. Oh, you're gonna do it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Okay. That's good because my keyboard is probably gonna blow the both of us out here,
I'm using my phone.
and we've seen a lot of terminal blows in this run already, so maybe not go for that one. Too soon? Okay.
Look, where it's like 5 blows too soon.
The race isn't even over. I'm already
No.
joking about it.
The wounds are
It
still
was like
fresh.
30 minutes ago where I said it's hard to laugh about it. I guess that moment's passed.
Yeah, the tears are still in the rings.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a defeat
Oh,
from Hopkana.
Hop, no!
Damn.
Oh,
On
that
the-
is
on the Final
unfortunate.
stretch, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only about
He did
11
have the
floors left for Hob.
Yeah, he did have to book it. That's probably what happened. I didn't see what happened, but
Yeah,
um,
ran right into
yeah.
those dragons. He's going back in. It might be a good attempt for him to try and get one of these last second character point incentives, but
mhm.
you know, it's gonna be a bit tough. You see, Mike is getting ready here for the jelly.
Yep.
Calc at the ready.
So he does have a cancer rock. He can't
Oh.
unequip it. Oh no, he doesn't know why.
Oh
He needs to
no!
get rid of another item in his inventory
Oh
because his
no.
actual non-equipped inventory is full. I
Oh,
hope he's
boy.
gonna realize in time while he's listening to me, but yeah.
They don't have us playing, so that's rough.
He hopefully he apparently doesn't know about the glitch, which is very interesting to me.
No,
Um,
okay, I think he's checking now. He can see that it's not.
Oh no, he doesn't know.
Oh no, 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 no! Come on! That is
he'll
like the
figure
difference
it out.
between getting a kill, not getting a kill. That is
He'll figure it out.
unfortunate.
He's just gonna be there. Oh, I mean, good thing that it's not like, 200 people watching you. Not knowing about that.
Oh, he's freaking out. Come on, man! Just feed your
He
capsule.
really doesn't know.
Feed your capsule. Come on. Who else is yelling at their screen right now? We're yelling
Yeah.
at the screen
I
right
mean,
now.
We are, as you can hear.
It's like
That's really nice.
the Breaking Bad meme. Mike, you gotta get rid of items in your inventory. Mike.
Okay, I think he might know. If he uses Providence, he'll have space in his inventory, but
Oh yeah, you know.
let's not do that. Ah, there
You
you
think
go.
that might be
figured it
good? Okay, all right. He uses a thing. Okay.
out. Nice. All right, we got that scare over with.
Oh my lord.
Which
This is
means-
just.
yeah. He has a Mythblade and an Old Sword and Cancer, which means he has 2 Fractionals. He also has a Gorgon Rock, I believe, which means
He
he has
does.
3 Fractionals. And the
He
Cancer
also
Rock
has-
will allow him to also attack an additional time with the Old Sword, which is really
He's-
good.
He's also got Trick, I believe, which means he should be able to get a lot of extra damage in with that
He does
Cancer
have
Rock.
Trick. Yeah, and he also has Darby 4. He did switch back to... Oh, he does not have Darby 4, never mind.
No, I
thought
don't think
switched
he ever
back to-
brought him back up past 3. He's
Okay.
going for it now.
That's fine. He's probably gonna have enough items in order to do it, and he has a lot of time to get the kill before the 2-hour mark. So yep.
It's a shame he didn't pick up that light fruit, though. He could have gotten an extra 2 points right here at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Did he forget to
That's
farm
fair.
IP? T doesn't have enough IP. That's...
I mean,
I think it's still possible. She'll be casting Trick, so... She'll lose a little damage not getting an IP off on her, but it might be enough with the double cast Trick.
he might have designated her as the trick and spellcaster, in which case she's not even gonna use IP.
Yeah, he
But-
does
and
have
I also
Thunder.
don't know what IP he has for him, for her, but
Chat's saying
there's
not
a little
much.
love.
Ellison's
Yeah.
cringing at the feeding of the sizzle sword.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Darby is asking for a Mega Axe. That's gonna
Oh.
be the best use he's ever gonna get out of that axe because that's gonna
He's-
be a lot of bars. It's
You've
gonna be
got
all the
two
way
of
at the
them.
bottom.
You've got
Yes,
two
he
of
did
them.
this one.
Feed one. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's searching for it. He's definitely gonna feed it because
It's way down below.
there it is.
Oh.
And you can see that just jumping up these late level capsule monsters. They take a
Oh.
lot of food. They're very hungry.
Incredible.
But yeah, he's gonna get there. So just to keep up what's happening for everyone else, Prof. Soli just got Lizblow, but I don't think even though he made it to Archfiends, he's not gonna make it to Jelly, which is 20 more floors in 5 more minutes. It is possible, and he is running.
If he gets all
Um,
those spawns on stairs floors.
Yeah, Hopkanam and Hoppy are unfortunately, well, I mean, they're not gonna make it to the Jelly floor. Spoilers. They're probably not gonna make it to the 30 points or anywhere close to it. Let's put it that way.
Nope, I agree.
So, yeah.
Unfortunate,
Without
but it was a
trying
good
to call
run.
This an early end to this race.
Well, it was
That's,
a well
that's the
fought
reality
battle.
we live in. Oh, there's
You
a
know?
water spear for Hopkanam
Oh.
just to prove my point earlier.
Yeah.
Then we
Alrighty,
had
Calc's
all the-
out.
Yeah. Counting
Um,
into you. You see what
yep.
I did there?
Yep.
And definitely good luck to Mike here. So what you want to do is you want to get your fractionals out on the first turn, which is what he does here, the Mythblade and Old Sword IP. He's using Trick with Tia in the first round because that's damage not wasted, because the fractional is a bit slower. And he's also going to use the X attack fractional from Lexus from the back row, which is not perfectly optimal, but I mean probably optimal in this situation. But in general, you want to use all your fractionals from the front row.
All right, let's go. 27, 780. Ooh, Dark Thunder as well. Nice bit of extra damage.
Yeah, you're going
Alright.
to be a bit behind in
4905
seeing-
on that first turn. Not as much as you might like to see.
Yeah, that's what happens with these parties.
Darby being good on these Dark Thunders, though, that extra bit of damage does add up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will not have Evil Aura because there was no time to learn, obviously. Which
Nice
of course
critical.
You know, I'm just saying. Thanks.
Yep, it doesn't look like we're gonna get this kill here, unfortunately. Only 6,397 damage.
That's definitely cutting it close. He's gonna have to pull some tricks out of his sleeve here.
He's gonna need some real criticals here.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself. You gave yourself this name. I have no remorse.
That's fair. That's fair. Yep.
Alrighty. Yep, that's
He-
it.
Oh, you did not
seven-
use Scissor Slash, okay.
Yep, about 1,600 damage shy, unfortunately. So that Scissor Slash would not have made much of a difference.
Mhm.
But he still made it to the jelly. Did he defend at the end there? At all?
I don't think he defended.
Oh,
not
that's
sure.
a missed point. That's a missed point, unfortunately. Have a character defend
Yep.
during the jelly battle, but that's okay. He still made it to the jelly.
Definitely GG to Mike at this point. The runners aren't necessarily done yet.
Oh, he
Although I
did
think
turn to
Hopkanam has
Tia
also
defend.
taken his victory lap.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was gonna
good
say
no-
that I wouldn't have blamed him for trying to get the jelly kill and not doing the defend point, seeing as
Cool.
how far they are and trying to get the kill. But yeah,
I'm glad you guys are more
unfortunately, this one...
attentive than I am.
Good. Yeah, there is definitely.
Chat's got
I
my
only
back.
very roughly looked at it as well. This is a
I
crowd
was-
fun,
yeah.
crowd commented event. You know.
Yeah, I was unfortunately distracted by trying to get all the numbers in the calculator in
Mhm.
time, so
Yeah,
I
perfectly
most certainly
understand.
missed it.
Yeah. So as we're looking at the last 22 seconds of this run, Hopkanam is showing off the perfect truth about this game in general. Hoppy's
Yep.
trying his luck against a couple of centipedes, and Prof is also probably, being happy about his team's result here. They definitely both contributed, right? Like the spotlight wasn't
yeah.
Mike, but it's definitely a team effort in the end. And yeah, with 2 hours on the clock, I'm sure Eli will jump in here any second and probably clear up any points that might not be perfectly on par, but I do not think personally that it will make up the difference.
No,
So, yeah.
I agree. Nonetheless, it was an excellent run. A bit of unfortunate for half of each team, but it was a good competition right up until the very end. A lot of really
Mhm.
fun item gets, a lot of great movement, some great decisions made, and overall, I think all the runners should be really proud of how they performed in this first round of the Jelly Jam.
Definitely. There will be another race after, but right before I hand it over to Eli, I do want to say thanks to you for also commentating this match here. You did a great job, I think. I think that was pretty entertaining for everyone. I hope at the very least.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
yeah,
it. Thank
I'm
you
looking
so
forward to the
much
next
for
race.
doing commentary as well. Definitely helps
sure.
having someone with more experience. Even if there were a number of times I talked over you, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's perfectly fine when it happens, and I definitely got to say you did know your stuff. So yeah, don't worry about it in the slightest. You didn't need me to be here.
Well, I certainly wouldn't have gotten that knowledge without the help of all those resources, the help of people like you who came to streams or talked in the chat to help provide information and make learning this both easy and fun. So all
As
that
Mike
credit goes to you
likes.
guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, likewise, it's a community effort, you know.
It definitely
And I was
is,
gonna
and
say,
it's a
as Mike's kids joined the commentary,
Yes, and with
Yeah.
that, the community
truly the
effort.
winners of this competition were Mike's kids.
They were having a great time.
I'm sure they were also screaming at you when you were trying to figure out why you couldn't equip those rocks.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh my
no.
god.
Like, Dad, what are you doing? Don't you know?
I thought the curse lifter like broke the like glitched the whole game out. I'm like, I
Oh.
didn't. I was like, oh no, the curse lifter messed everything up. I can't take it off now. It's like glitched. No, my inventory is
Yeah.
full.
this is
Took me a
where I can
while.
let you know, Mike. Every single person except you in the community knows what happened.